All right. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We're going to go over some very important stuff here, and to get started, we're going to talk about the promise to make more strikes to the cartel. Now, if you've been under a rock for the last couple days, they did strike a boat. In fact, the thumbnail of today is actually a clip from that video. It actually shows, I don't know, a drone watching this boat go along, and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes up. Now, the president said that there was a lot of bad stuff in that boat, and they said that it is just the beginning. Essentially, that this is just the start of many, many strikes, and now they're actually talking about it. They promise that there's going to be more strikes. It says, we've got assets in the air, assets in the water, assets on ships, because this is a deadly serious mission for us. And it won't stop with just this strike. Even before he said this, I literally knew. I said that after this first strike, that this is just the beginning. And he's putting it in writing. He's spelling it out for us that this is just the beginning. It's not going to stop with this. And that means that this is going against, some very powerful people. Whoever is pulling the strings on these cartels is definitely somebody that is up there. And it says the strike appears to be the first in a long-threatened military campaign by the Trump administration to stop cartels from trafficking drugs into the United States, despite questions over the legality over such an operation. Now, this was out in the water, but if they do something different, if they strike a cartel inside of Mexico or inside of Venezuela, that would be pretty nuts. Obviously, they won't be doing it again, and I think a lot of other people won't be doing it again when they watch the tape. They're going to say, let's not do this, the president added, referring to the video of the strike released shortly after. Now, of course, he actually talked about it before that video or before even anyone knew, and people's response, and of course, we thought that the media would cover it and say, the president destroys tour boat or something. But again, most people are covering it pretty accurately. The boat was decimated. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you guys, make sure to go check out Energy. If you do want to get yourself a solar generator, this is one of our best recommendations because of the quality of it. It is built like things used to be. Again, this is an amazing unit. It is, again, called, this is the Flex Tactical. Now, let me make sure that you guys can see it. This is actually reinforced with steel. It is made for cold temperatures. It actually has a built-in heater for cold temperatures. It has a built-in fan for hot temperatures. Again, this is made to mod or to even expand. Those batteries click in like Legos, and they snap in with very, very easy snap buckles. So again, go check it out, marfugglenews.com/energy. Again, the code Marfoogle will not only get you a discount, but it will also get you prepared. Again, marfugglenews.com/energy, and make sure to use that code Marfoogle. Let's bring in my co-host/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So, on top of the cartel event, you've got the presidents are the other presidents are watching this parade. What ended up happening with Russia?
Yeah, so in Putin's style, as he is attending the parade, he is launching one of the largest drone attacks and a very deadly attack in going after Ukraine's energy grid. So more than 500 drones, 24 missiles were sent into Ukraine. And the attack was targeting specifically their energy grid. According to Zelensky, many of the targets were the civilian infrastructure along with the energy facilities. So the attacks targeted western and central Ukraine, injured at least 5 people, and I think 1 person perished from it. But again, it was 502 Shahed type attacks, which are those drones and decoy drones, which are those ones that come from Iran or were originally built by Iran. I think they're being built in Russia now, based off of those designs. They said they intercepted 430 of them, and 21 missiles, but the remaining got through and struck multiple locations.
Well, if you think about Iran's True Promise 2, what was it? Was it True Promise 2 or True Promise 1, where you saw all of those drones and missiles heading towards them? The sheer number of them, 500, that means close to 80 ended up making it through, or close to 70. So that's a lot of destruction. Now, they point out, they're always going to point out that they hit civilian infrastructure. It is a war, so they are in a conflict. But, how true is that? We don't know exactly what is propaganda, what is meant to get the American people and the Western nations to basically go to war with Russia. The worse that they make Russia's actions, the easier it is to get into a war. Now, they very well could have hit tons of civilian buildings. They could have hit all apartment buildings, but we won't really truly know the truth behind it, So just remember, if you are possibly getting manipulated. And then the power of God, Putin, Xi, and Kim in the most blood-curdling hot mic moment ever. And I agree with this. As far as the clip here, I just wonder if some things like this can be edited or if it can be AI. I'm sure that there's going to be some folks out there on Twitter that are saying this is AI, but the way that it was set up, it looks like it's legit. The creepiest thing about this is they're talking about being immortal, about replacing organs. I'll read some of the quotes here. It says, Vlad, Xi, and Kim were leading the group as they went to go watch China's biggest ever military parade. The broadcast featured three despots discussing how biotechnology could result in humans living up to 150. Putin even then speculates that repeated organ transplants could let us perhaps even achieve immortality. Now, I don't think that could ever happen. I think the one issue is that the brain ends up aging out. Like, you can replace almost every other organ in the body, and science might get to that point, but the brain ends up getting too old. So they have to really figure out how to regrow brains. But all three, and maybe when Neuralink and things like this, BCIs or brain-computer interfaces get to the point where we can save like a game, our brains, then maybe that could happen. It said all three, who have never met before, are known for their strict, highly choreographed appearances in front of cameras, and catching them in an unguarded moment talking amongst themselves is unprecedented. The live video, mainly covered by a voiceover in English, was relayed via international wire services. China's radio and TV administration said CCTV's coverage of the event was viewed 1.9 billion times online and more than 400 million on TV. The rest of their conversation was not broadcast to the world. Dex, what did you think about, why would they be talking about this? And then is the translator could have been, it makes me think of the people they hired to do sign language that weren't qualified. What if they hired some idiot that was, But
even if the translator said it wrong, everybody else can fact check that part, right? All you gotta do is listen to the original audio, which is there. So look, the question I have is, what caused them to start this conversation? Like, was Kim talking about an organ transplant that he had? Was Xi asking tips from Putin, on what to do with his health? What got them started on immortality?
Well, did you see? So there was a story that is kind of right alongside this today that. They framed it, and the headline was "Paranoid Despo's assistants grab and frantically grab any piece of hair or DNA off of the chairs that Kim Jong-un sat," right? And it made me think of how Putin is actually having his assistants, or they say his assistants are collecting his Putins from the toilet, right? And maybe it's not so that they can test it for health defects. Maybe it is so they don't get DNA. I mean, wouldn't there be DNA in your number two? I'm just wondering, is this something that they worry about at the very top that we don't even think really exists? Like, DNA would be used to clone. Are they worried about cloning? Are they worried about being cloned and replaced? Are they worried about, something else? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. You know what I mean?
Does that mean Kim doesn't trust China?
No, maybe he doesn't trust anybody. Well, if he doesn't trust people in his own country, why would he trust people sitting in a room in China? Especially since China could have spies from the U.S. or from anywhere else.
But how does Xi take that, right? Like, does Xi Jinping, is he offended because they're scraping up every piece of DNA as he's running along?
Well, who knows? Maybe his assistants are scraping his DNA, and they all have like a DNA scraper poker game or something. And they're like, "Hey, today was wild, man. Did you see how many hairs my boss lost?" Man, that
I
was
mean, in
nuts.
today's age, they could just get on Zoom and have the call, right? And
Yeah.
don't have to worry about DNA.
Well, again, they met in person. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that there's something more nefarious about the collection of the DNA? Do you think that they are talking about this because they are sick? There's been a lot of talk about the president being sick. There's a lot of pictures of the president's hands. In fact, over the last couple days, this is something we didn't cover last night, but I think it was yesterday or the day before that Walter Reed was the streets around Walter Reed were shut down, and people were worried about the worst, that something happened to the president. At least that's what the chatter was on Twitter. And then, of course, Putin has had many rumors about cancer and other things. Kim Jong-un, of course, had a surgery where he did a brain surgery and supposedly perished. Xi Jinping is probably the only one that hasn't had like a near-death thing, huh? Has anybody worried about his health at all? I don't think we've seen that yet. I'm trying to think if there's anything in recent history.
It's been mild. I haven't heard anything significant.
Well, either way, and he's probably next. But all of the leaders, because of their age, have had questions about their health. And you really start to wonder, are they worried about their DNA being out there because they know where technology is going? Do they know stuff that we don't? Obviously, they do. So, again, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to join us for our next show. We're going to talk about so much more. You have a full bibliography of every single article, tweet, video, picture, document on this show right down below in the description. Again, marfooglenews.com has a full bibliography of all of the sources. You will also be able to go to the next show if you just want to click in the corner. If you're watching the replay, all you have to do is click here. Again, we'll see you on the next show. If you're in the chat, just wait there. You'll be ported over. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.